Why should you have a man and you are struggling to be provided for? And actually, what even dumbfounds me even more, yeah, is women who are, they have men, their husbands, their spouses, boyfriend, whatever you want to call them, and you're afraid to ask for money from them. Women who are in a relationship so it's okay for a man to ask to access your womb. It's okay for a man to ask to access your body. It's okay for a man to get children from you, but you're somehow afraid to ask them for money. You're somehow afraid to ask them to provide for you. You're somehow afraid. Like, please make it make sense for me. How? It beats logic for me. It completely beats logic for me. How are you with a man and you're afraid to ask him for what you want, yet he can ask you blatantly to access your womb? He can ask you blatantly for kids. He can blatantly ask you for even 50-50, and you're afraid to ask him to pay your bills. You're afraid to expect him to pay your bills. It genuinely, it baffles me. Yeah? I thought that I realized it's not common sense for everybody. I genuinely thought it's common sense for a man to provide for his woman. I genuinely thought so. Until I met people who are not being provided for, and I was like, by the way, wait a minute. Are they doing it out of choice, out of trauma, out of circumstances? And it truly baffled me. So what I thought was common sense was not really common sense. And it baffled me for a very long time. That what I thought was common sense in terms of a man should provide, Of course, again, I'm not trying to preach to you to accept and embrace gender roles. To each their own. It's a free world, it's a free country, you do you. But why should you be tired? And why should you stress yourself yet you have a man? Why should you have a man and you are struggling to be provided for? You are inadvertently activating the predator in your man by letting him go 50-50. The day you'll realize how much worth you have as a woman, the day you'll realize what it means to be a feminine woman, to rest. And by resting, I don't mean you sleeping from morning to evening. Just, you're not stressing yourself with things that your man should be taking care of. That is the day you'll know freedom. That is the day you'll realize by the way you have hobbies you didn't even realize you had. What you can do is you decide right now, right this very second, what type of life you want, what type of person you want to be, and start working on that. And you know what's going to happen? What I realized would happen, because out of experience I've actually noticed that, is that the people around you, how they relate with you, how they perceive you also starts changing. So initially you start by working on yourself. Then as a response, everybody else around you starts changing in response to you. Because you see, once you start first and foremost knowing what your standards are, what your boundaries are, and standing by them and enforcing them, everybody else around the world will just adjust. Because they'll realize, you know what, you can't deal with this person the way we were dealing with them. So in the same breath, the idea of provision, decide today that you want to be provided for. Decide today that you're going to navigate this world in the energy of provision. Stop navigating this world in a scarcity mentality. Stop navigating this world in a lack and poverty mentality. Stop trying to rescue your man left, right, and center. And really let him step up. Your man will actually step up. He will step up. But the moment you keep thinking you're going to come in and save the day, the moment you think you're going to come in and Makmende, you think you'll be the one to save the day, and that's what it means to be a good woman. There's this influencer, I think her name is just Ivy. There's something she said, I think like a year or two ago. She said something very profound, simple but profound. She said, when you show a man you can, you'll continue canning. When you show a man you can, you'll continue canning. You show him you can pay 50% of the bills, he will let you pay 50% of the bills. You show a man that you can be stepped on, he will step on you. A lot of us want to blame other people, and not just romantic relationships, but even just general relationships, platonic, collegial, work relationships. We want to blame others, but we do not actually want to own up the part we played in that interaction. Was it that you're subservient? Was it that you're too nice? Was it that you're a doormat? Yeah? Because you might be here blaming your man and blaming the world for how they are treating you. And this is not victim blaming, but genuinely you have to truly ask yourself, what role did you play in it? Because you might be here again saying that your man does not provide, but you have not given him the space to provide. You showed him you can, so he's letting you continue canning. You're not allowing him to step up and be the man. You're almost making him feel inadequate. Me, by then, I'll even give him my lungs to breathe for me. I have zero shame. I have zero shame asking for what I need. I have zero shame for asking for help. I have zero shame, none, zero. Because who else am I supposed to ask? Who else am I supposed to ask? Honestly, like who am I supposed to ask? If I'm not supposed to ask my man, who else am I supposed to ask? I can't go ask a neighbor. I can't go ask my brother. I'll ask him first, let him figure it out. And it will actually amaze you just how good when you leave a man to solve, to find solutions. You'll actually be surprised at how good they are. And it actually motivates them. But you're here showing him you can, you're actually handicapping his capacity to solve problems and to find solutions. Okay? So give your man the space to provide, give your man the space to provide solutions, give your man the space to provide financially, emotionally. Give him that space because otherwise you're handicapping him. Let him rise to his potential as a man and he will actually surprise you. Because remember, as a woman, your work is to inspire. Your work is not to push a man. He's not a wheelbarrow. Your work is not to nag. Your work is not to beg. Your work is neither also to do 50-50. Literally just inspire him. Speak life into him and he'll actually amaze you what he can do. He'll actually amaze you the heights he can go to provide for you and to take care of you and your family. So you showing that you can, you're actually handicapping his capacity and his ability to step up and to rise up to be the man he's supposed to be. I'm never going to push a man. That's not my work. I'm too delicate to push anything. The only pushing I ever did was in the labor ward. That is all the pushing I can ever do. Beyond that, and I didn't really push because I had a CS, but you get the point, yeah? The only pushing a woman should ever do is in the labor ward, not pushing a man. No. The fact that you're pushing to bring his children into this life is more than enough pushing. You should not push a man to do anything. He will rise up. Let him provide the space for him to rise up to his potential. Provide the space for him to rise up to his capacity and he'll actually surprise you. Just let go of that sense of control.